Before getting started, you'll need to download the Haptic Composer, the Unity SDK, and the Haptic Testing app, the Interhaptics player. You'll find the links in the description below and check out our setup video. The Haptic Composer is an application allowing you to design haptic feedback for many devices and systems. It is based on the concept of the haptic materials, which are the representation of your haptic pattern for the application to play it back. Let's create a haptic material here. Let's call it demo. The Haptic Composer has a design space where when you can add different perceptions to design your haptic experience. Let's add a vibration first. The easiest way to design vibration is to start from an audio file. Let's imagine that we want to design here a sniper sci-fi sound. While importing the audio, we see the audio pattern on the screen of the design system. This is the imported sound. We can then extract from this audio pattern the background vibration or the shocks that it includes, also called transients, or both together. Let's extract both. We have here the haptics that is related to this audio file. We can test this straightforward by sending it here to the player. And in your app, you can test it how it feels both on iOS and Android, or for PlayStation 5 and MetaQuest in Unity. If you are not happy and you want to modify the behavior, you can just double click on the note and we enter into the note editor. In the note editor, we have 4 information displayed: the audio that you can see to guide our design, the amplitude of vibrations, the shocks in yellow, and the frequency. Let's concentrate now on the amplitude. The amplitude is the strength of the haptic vibration that you're applying. You can simply drag and drop the keyframes to modify the behavior, and you see directly the results. We can double click and create a new haptic keyframe and move it around. And you see it's pretty intuitive. We can also cancel this keyframe similarly. Let's imagine that here it doesn't follow really the path. Simply by double clicking, we can create the experience we want. Check now our shocks. We see that our algorithm here picked up 3 different shocks, but by testing, you would like to have the end tail with more important feedback. Just right click, a transient, and you can move them around to create the time haptic experience of your audio. Similarly, at the beginning here. Let's check now the frequency. The frequency is the frequency at which the haptic vibrates. It is a kind of a flavor, right? The human perceives between 0 and 1000 Hz for haptics. And different haptic sensations have different vibrations and frequencies that impacts the feeling. You can simply drag and drop here around the keyframes to change the frequency of your experience. Let's imagine that at the beginning, in the first run-up of your sci-fi audio, you would like it to get stronger, get high pitch, and then drops down. You can simply drag and drop your keyframes, and that works. Save here, you see that your haptics experience is updated. Another way to design haptics is by starting from the presets that we already have. Let's imagine that in your sound effects, you would like in the middle to create some hits and beats. We have here, for example, starting a haptic shape that we can simply drag and drop within the application. For example, this is a grating experience that can go and be mixed straight away with your audio haptic experience. As you see, we can simply drag and drop it around and the result changes. Let's imagine that you don't like the tail of your sound to haptics experience and you would like to substitute it with this grating. You can simply split your note in 2, select it and cancel it. Substitute it with your grating. If it is too short, you can simply drop it longer and it will be automatically rescaled. You can save our material. Another way to design haptics for vibration is the concept of add a new note. This note is a note that is 1 second long and vibrating at the maximum. As for before, you can simply double click and change your haptic effect in this way, and you see that the amplitude changes. One item though, this haptics experience is a wideband haptic experience because it includes multiple frequencies and multiple amplitude at the same time. Not all devices are available to deploy this haptic experience. Android will display just the amplitude modulation, so the envelope of the output that you see on the bottom. iOS is capable of displaying shocks and only one of these bands, so you will get a mixed experience between two frequencies. PlayStation 5 though is capable of displaying multiple frequencies at the same time, so you will get the full haptic experience. Now we are done with vibration. Kinetic perception, let's check textures. Texture happens when you would be sliding your finger over a texture-enabled surface. We have one node preset here of a texture. You can simply drag and drop and take an example from. Of course, you can scale it higher and lower. It works similarly as vibration, and you can modify the keyframes to create the experience you would like. The third perception that we include is a stiffness. Stiffness works for example, PlayStation 5 adaptive trigger input. In this case, we design a force profile that we would like our haptic experience to have. In this case, what I'm designing is a trigger that when you're moving it, it has 2 clicks at the beginning and at the end of the movement. And in this way, it's extremely easy to go and design the haptic experience, your adaptive trigger you would like to have graphically. And within Unity, you can simply test it. Checking on the menu, we have here the help where you have documentation, keyboard shortcuts, and tutorial, specifically our Discord community, where you can join the haptic community that is designed thanks to the Interhaptics and the Haptic Composer. And the classic